Who doesn't love music? It makes us happy, sad, hypes us up or builds suspense. It provides us with a creative release and it stops us from having to sit in piercing silence. It's a beautiful thing, and thanks to Spotify, we get the highest quality music for a reasonable price. Given the music industry's taken a variety of twists and turns in recent history, let's delve into the story of Spotify. The highs, the lows, the artists, and the feuds. This is Startup Stories on the EntreConnect channel. Spotify was founded on the 23rd of April 2006 in Stockholm, Sweden. Daniel Ek and Martin Lorentzon founded the company to combat the growing piracy problem in the music industry. If you haven't heard of Napster or LimeWire, you'll make me feel very old. The pirated music sharing sites were the free, though illegal, way to get your music in the good old days of the early noughties. After the Metallica vs Napster lawsuit in 2000, with Metallica successfully suing the free music sharing site,
it traces back to something called Napster, and we were like, well, if they're fuck with us, we'll fuck with them.
The way we listen to music changed for good. Justin Timberlake, while playing Sean Parker, co-founder of Napster, puts it best.
Sorry, you didn't bring down the record companies. They won.
In court?
Yeah.
You wanna buy a Tower Records, Eduardo?
He's right. We don't buy a Tower of Records or, more recently, CDs anymore. Spotify was released in 2008 with a free subscription with ads or a £10 monthly subscription if you wanted to avoid ads. Ek realised you can never legislate away from piracy, so he found a better way to do it. You know the way to prove it's a better way? Are you still downloading pirated music? Didn't think so. Spotify ensured their service was a high enough quality to be worth the monthly price. To do this, they needed high quality music, big artists, and lots of supporters. You can't draw someone to your platform without the pulling power of the world's greatest musicians. So that's what they did. When they had their IPO in 2018, they were bringing in revenues of $5 billion. That's pretty good, I presume you'd think. Well, it is, but 3/4 of that is immediately spent on the rights to all the music, in order to pay credit to writers, performers, producers, and labels. There's also a massive reliance on their paid subscribers. Spotify in 2018 had almost 90 million free listeners, but only 10% of their revenue came from the advertising. In 2018, they'd never turned a profit, 10 years after they'd launched. That's even with 71 million paid subscribers globally. It's tough to make a profit when you're streaming music, and that's even with royalties only being pennies compared to the money artists used to receive from traditional sales. Yet Spotify, at IPO, were valued at $26.6 billion. How can a company that doesn't make a profit be so valuable? Well, it's a bet on the future, because no one using Spotify or any of its competitors now is going back to the old ways of listening to music. Spotify has deals with the 3 major music labels in order to keep the cost as low as possible. This means they can pay a certain amount and get the high quality music and well-known artists they need to maintain the subscribers they have. It doesn't always go quite that smoothly though. Taylor Swift in 2014 pulled all of her music off of Spotify, claiming she didn't want to be involved in the experiment that was their platform. "I'm not willing to contribute my life's work to an experiment that I don't feel fairly compensates the writers, producers, artists, and creators of this music," were her exact words. Ironically, 3 years later, her contributions and life's work returned. Clearly she saw where the market was going and changed her mind. Pennies are worth more than no pennies.
So eventually, when the new album came up, she came to Stockholm and spent some time with our team there, figuring out a way that made sense for her.
She's not the only one though, and isn't even the biggest name. Jay-Z and Beyonce agreed with her sentiment, instead turning to their own platform, Tidal, to host their music exclusively.
Spotify's 9 billion, they ain't say shit.
5 years later, Jay also returned his music to Spotify, showing the streaming war zone may be deadlier than we could ever imagine. That streaming war zone is primarily populated by Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. Google Play and Tidal occasionally appear, but they're almost out of the picture at this point. Spotify, of the 3 title contenders, are the only ones without massive names behind them. Apple and Amazon are 2 of the 4 horsemen of the business apocalypse. They have brand loyalty, they have massive subscription programs like Prime, and they have products to auto-integrate their platform into, iPhones, Macs, etc. Apple could practically cover the rights Spotify covers using their AirPods profits alone. Amazon literally uses music as a loss leader thrown into their Prime membership. Spotify has brand loyalty, but they need more, so it becomes a content quality battle. The aim to beat the competition has led Spotify to the signing of exclusive podcasts, like the Joe Rogan Experience.
I signed a multi-year licensing agreement with Spotify that will start on September 1st.
With 190 million downloads, the global #1 podcast will be exclusively on Spotify. They're trying to crush YouTube, Apple and Amazon all at once. They're even including the video. Will people watch it? Will people actively move to Spotify just for Joe Rogan? We'll have to wait and see. As for now, that's their startup story. Spotify, the music streaming Goliath.